Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Veterans homelessness, an embarrassment to our nation. Mission roll call CEO. That's the quotation at the top of this page. And I wanted to share it with you and jump into this article, read it to you, and go from there. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. And let's jump into this. Our one mission roll call poll reveals just over 90% of veterans believe more should be done for veteran homelessness. Okay, so not homelessness in general, veteran homelessness. All right. On any given night, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development estimates that 40,056 veterans are homeless. Nearly 13% of the nation's homeless are veterans, despite making up only 6.2% of the population. A nonprofit, Mission Roll Call, seeks to end issues that plague veterans across America, such as homelessness, PTSD, and rocky transitions to civilian life. Mission Roll Call polls a membership comprised of veterans nationwide to get that directly reflects veteran opinions on policy issues like homelessness. That was rough. All right. In their most recent poll, 90.75% of veterans responded no to the question, in your opinion, is enough being done to address veteran homelessness? Mission Roll Call CEO, retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Jim Whaley, shared in an interview with Fox News Digital. We know that there are thousands of veterans homeless right now as we speak. On any given night, you could have 40 to 50,000 that are homeless. That's a big swing. All right, so 40,000 to 50,000, right, are homeless on any given night. That is a number that is staggering. It's embarrassing for countries such as ours, and it needs to be addressed. Whaley is also the recipient of medals such as the Legion of Merit, Air Assault Badge, and Humanitarian Services Medal. Whaley said he believes that support for military veterans needs to start early on. Look, I'm a huge proponent of swimming upstream, right? I mean, this should be, I actually call for having the people like me, right, locally, you must actually speak with a veteran service officer. Like, that's part of your out processing, right? You need to talk with these people and have conversations before you get out to eliminate the, well, damn, I wish I would have known before I got out, right? For a whole host of things, right? Whether it's working on your transition for employment stuff, whether it's getting your benefits squared away, all of that stuff. So the networking aspects, I mean, there's so much, and it's not until the last minute, right? Anyway, I'm starting to get on a soapbox. Let's move on. One of the other challenges with homeless is that if we start from the beginning, we would realize that 24% of active duty military now, I repeat that, 24%, nearly a quarter of all active duty military have food insecurity issues. Look, when I was in the Marine Corps, I had a young family, and yeah, I think it was all the way through to the end of my first enlistment. We qualified for WIC, Women and Infant Children. It's essentially food stamps, but for food that's really kind of geared toward the child, right, or the pregnant mother. And we qualified for that, and both of us worked. I mean, I wasn't going to go get a second job. I mean, I guess I could have, right? But it's a little hard when you're in the field and stuff all the time. So anyway, I had my job, Marine Corps, and my wife at the time had her full-time job at JCPenney. So what else can you really do, right? So let's move on. Now, that's not a statistic that MRC came up with. That's a statistic that comes out of the DoD report. Clearly, we're not paying active duty military, especially junior enlisted, the necessary salaries that they need to live and thrive. And that's an embarrassment. I agree. The VA has housed over 46,000 veterans in 2023, but organizations like Mission Roll Call seek to bring attention to those homeless veterans who have fallen between the cracks of government assistance. Even one veteran experiencing homelessness is a tragedy. We've made progress in recent years in tackling this problem, but there's still a long way to go, a spokesperson shared in a statement to Fox News Digital. So, look, if you or somebody you know is experiencing homelessness, you can call the National Call Center for Homeless Veterans, and that's 877-424-3838. Again, 877-424-3838. In addition, and again, just kind of part of my past life, I ran a nonprofit that served homeless and at risk of becoming homeless veterans through an SSVF grant. Okay, so SSVF is Supportive Services Veterans Families. And there's nonprofits out there strewn throughout the nation that receive this money, right? Again, SSVF, Supportive Services Veterans Families, receive this money in. And primarily it's to address homelessness, but there is a fraction of it that can be utilized to help prevent homelessness. So, for example, let's say veteran Joe or Jane lost their job for whatever reason, and now they are late on their rent. But they're looking for work, right? They're out, they're pounding the pavement, they're doing interviews, all that stuff, but they're late on their rent. They paid their car because they need to get to and from interviews and so forth, but they're late on their rent. And they have no income. Maybe they got some disability income from the VA, right? Maybe they're 60% rated or something. So now they potentially could go to an SSVF nonprofit out there that's receiving the SSVF funds and talk with one of the counselors there, get enrolled in the program. They might even have employment services out of that nonprofit that could help with finding a job locally, and they could potentially get their rent paid through that SSVF grant. Now, on the other side, right, so that's kind of the prevention aspect. On the other side, the homeless side, they, in some cases, will provide hotel vouchers, especially in inclement weather. They can provide hotel vouchers for a couple nights. And in addition, for homeless services, the SSVF marries up very nicely with what's called HUD-VASH. HUD-VASH is essentially a Section 8 voucher for veterans. Section 8 basically subsidizes the rental payment that you're liable for, and then the government picks up the remainder. So for HUD-VASH, let's just say an example is the rent's $2,000 a month. Your rent's $2,000 a month. On paper, you qualify, or you show that you can pay $800. So your payment's $800 a month, and then HUD-VASH will pick up the $1,200 per month for that rental. So that part's nice, but how do you get into the house, right? You got to pay a security deposit. You have to pay for application fees, all of that stuff. Those things can be paid for through SSVF. So SSVF can help you get that application in. Let's say that they call for a first and last month's rent situation. You got $4,000 that you don't have $4,000, so they could pay the $4,000 security deposit, first last month worth, get you into the house, and then HUD-VASH really again marries up nicely there. So with that, just wanted to throw out this information to you so you're aware. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.